Hey, what is happening, guys? Luke Wayne here. Hope you guys are having a good day. Alright, let's get down to business. Remember, high hopes, low expectations. Is WB Games Montreal working on a Flash game? Well, let me explain our reasoning. I know you guys are going to be like, oh, Luke's Office Rockers again. Maybe I am. Maybe I am speculating a bit too much, but just hear me out. And yes, I still think they're working on a Batman game. Don't just they're definitely working on. They were, at least at some point, they definitely have worked on Batman in the past. Now we don't know what it is, all the cancels and reboots. It could be a sequel to Arkham Knight, could be a prequel to Asylum, could not even be in the Arkhamverse, could be a Bat Family game, not Batman, but it's something DC. Anyways, I'm talking about how they could be working on two games at once. Let me explain. I'm sure I don't need to recap. A lot of you know that back in 2015, they confirmed they were working on two DC games, and they deleted the video, and then in 2016, we got the leaked Superman game. We saw images, we knew what the game sounded like. And then that game was canned mid-2016, and then it was replaced with the Damian Wayne Batman game. And then we also got leaked Suicide Squad game info, and then we got leaked information that game was canceled in December 2016. And then the Damian Wayne Batman game, which was going to be a sequel to Arkham Knight, that we got leaked concept art for, was it was rebooted in early 2017. And that's the Batman game we're going to get now. We're going to get the rebooted version of Damian Wayne. And we don't know what it is, but anyways, I'm talking about how after that, after all those cancels and whatever, we just kind of assumed that the two projects that they were working on, they were just canceled and that was it, and they were putting all their full force focus onto the new Batman game that we're going to get now. However, I think that they might still be working on two projects. Why am I saying this out of nowhere? This idea hit me a few days ago. Let me explain. Okay. The Arkham channel is a very good YouTube channel. I'm sure many of you guys have seen his videos, but if not, there's a shout out. He has 50-something thousand subscribers. I can't give him a boost. I only have 100, but there you go. He has a pretty good channel. And anyways, he uploads he basically only does gameplay videos for the Arkham games, but every 6 months or so, he'll upload a video recapping and summarizing all the leaks that have been going on for the past 6 months about the new project. And his latest video was titled something, I can't remember what it was titled. It was New Batman Game Info, and then he put in parentheses Project Mercury. And then if you click on the video and if you watch it, and the video he mentions that the new project that WB Games Montreal is working on is rumored to be named Project Mercury. Now, I haven't heard this anywhere else, and he did not give away his source. Obviously, if it's someone inside the studio, it doesn't want to get him in trouble. So that's why I'm assuming he didn't give away source, but I trust him. You guys should too. He has literally no reason to lie. It's not like he's an active channel. He uploads whatever, and Project Mercury, I don't know why he would lie about it. It's such a small, insignificant detail. Unless you're me and you really like to speculate. All right, bear with me, guys. I know, oh god, it's already 3 minutes, but just bear with me. Project Mercury. Look up Project Mercury on Google, and this is what you'll find. You'll find that it's actually a thing. It's Project Mercury was the first human spaceflight program of the United States, renamed from 1958 through 1963, and early highlighted the space race. Its goal was to put a man in orbit and have him return safely, ideally before the Soviet Union. Blah blah blah. And what I'm trying to say is Project Mercury, I know he said it was about the new Batman game, but Mercury doesn't have anything to do with Batman, in my opinion. We know for a fact that the leaked Damian Wayne game that was canceled, it was codenamed Project Sabbath. I'm sorry, don't click off the video. I swear it's about to get interesting. Just give me 3 more minutes maybe, okay? Project Sabbath. Project Sabbath, that makes sense. If you read the Bible, God rested on the seventh day. That's Sabbath. And, we can assume there would have been a sequel to Arkham Knight, and Batman, a.k.a. Bruce Wayne, is resting, and Damian Wayne's taking up the mantle. So Project Sabbath makes sense. Project Mercury makes no sense. So I started looking into it. Obviously, the space thing, I can't pin that to a certain DC superhero, so there you go. Take that as you will. I just wanted to say it in case you guys can speculate and turn it into something in the comments below. Let me know. And then you look up Mercury is, of course, the first planet in the solar system. It is the fastest. 1 year is 88 days long. All that stuff. Molten core, blah, blah, blah. Not too important otherwise. I mean, it's not too important. Just the fastest planet. So I'm used to that was the fastest rotating planet in our evolving planet, solar system, or whatever. And then you look up Mercury DC. That's what I did on Google. Mercury is actually a DC comic book character. Google says Mercury is traditionally associated with as the messenger of the gods of Rome. He is known for his speed, and based on the Olympian god Hermes, Mercury gives Captain Marvel, aka Shazam, his speed, and Jake Garrick, aka the original Flash, styled his Flash costume after the winged messenger. Mercury is a character in the Flash universe. Keep that in mind. Now, of course, I'm sure most of you, we learned all this in school. Mercury is a Roman god, or the Roman equivalent of the god Hermes. Hermes is the god of messaging, travel, and speed. Do you see where I'm going with this? Why wouldn't Earth would they name their new project Project Mercury? Why would they codename it Project Mercury unless it was a completely randomized name? But does it make sense for it to be randomized as Project Sabbath wasn't randomized? So I don't think they're going to be any. Okay. Counterpoint. If it was a Flash game, we would have heard about it. WB Montreal has so many leaks in the past few years, we obviously would have heard something about it. Not exactly. We do know one of the last leaks we got back in 2017 was that they were remodeling their security protocols or whatever, and we were warned back in 2017 that we would not be getting as much leaks. And that was absolutely true. We have not been getting, name a good actual. We haven't gotten a single leak as good as the Superman game or as good as the Batman game or the Suicide Squad game. And it's been like 2 years. We haven't gotten a single leak. We don't know what's going on there. We know they're probably working on a Batman game. The Court of Owls was leaked. I'll give you that was leaked. But we just don't know exactly what it is. Like with the Damian Wayne game, we got concept art. Same thing with Superman. And we got some concept art for all three of these games. We haven't gotten a single thing for the new Batman game that we know they're working on. So they obviously have a new security. What I'm trying to say is if they have some new security protocols or whatever, then it makes sense that we don't know about the Flash game. All I'm saying is that Project Mercury makes no sense to be affiliated with Batman. Now, those are just my first two pieces of evidence. Obviously, the name, first of all, Project Mercury, which isn't that. Yeah, I understand if you don't believe me yet, but just wait, I have more evidence soon. I understand Project Mercury, the name itself is a little flimsy, yeah, sure, not too much evidence on that. There's my first piece of evidence, the name. Project Mercury, nothing to do with Batman, everything to do with Flash. If you're making a Flash game, I could definitely see that being the code name for the project. Second piece of evidence, obviously, likely that they're working on 2 games, and very likely 2 DC games, as they did state in their website and on their Instagram bio, whatever, that they have, or they make DC-based games. We know that, and or I at least assumed that meant, obviously, Batman Arkham Origins and their game that they're working on now, AAA game. They said 2 DC AAA games, or they said DC AAA games, plural, I'm sorry, not 2. So we just assumed that meant Arkham Origins and whatever game they're working on now. But they could mean currently. They could mean they're working on multiple AAA games at once. And if they really did shift full focus onto the Batman game, then I think we would have had it by now. They've had 3 years working on it, rebooted since 2017, and like maybe 4 or 5 years working on it if you count the Damian Wayne game. We would have gotten something right now if all 500 people of the studio were on this game. Especially since Rocksteady only had 100 people when it first started out, and they made Arkham Asylum and Arkham City within 2 years each. Anyways, those are my first 2 pieces of evidence. Third piece of evidence. Here you go. If you look at the concept art for Batman, Arkham, whatever, the Damian Wayne game, Project Sabbath, if you look at the concept art, you see Gorilla Grodd is a villain. Do you see where I'm going with this? Gorilla Grodd is obviously a Flash villain. And I think, obviously, if that was concept art was made back in 2015, 2016, maybe they were testing him out. Maybe they were making a character model. Maybe they were just seeing if they liked the character. And either A, they didn't necessarily have the Flash project greenlit yet, so they were using concept art on the Batman floor or whatever. If they did not have a part of the studio working on a Flash game, they could have been using part of the studio that was working on a Batman game to concept art and character model and test out how the character Gorilla Grodd would work and function in a video game. Or B, he always was intended to be in the Batman game, but when it was rebooted, and now they're taking the Batman game in a new direction and they're relying on more classic Batman villains, they could salvage Gorilla Grodd and put him in a Flash game. Those are my 3 4 pieces of evidence? I can't think. 5th or 6th, whatever now. This is another piece of evidence. Obviously, WB Games Montreal, their only AAA game is Batman Arkham Origins, which as much as I love them and as much as I love that game, it's not original. It copied so much from Arkham City, but this isn't a video about that. Another time, another video for another time. All I'm trying to say is they're not very original. That's the only AAA game. It was copied to Arkham City, and their other projects have just been DLC for Batman Arkham Knight. That's pretty much it. And a Lego Chima Online port. Whatever. Essentially, they're not very original. And if studio was making a Flash game, then I think they're one of the few studios who I would like to make a Flash game, because Flash would work so well with Arkham Combat. That could have been at the pitch meeting. If they wanted to make a Flash game, they could have been like, hey, Arkham Combat works so well, it would work even better if it was a Flash. Imagine Arkham Combat, boom, 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 punching thugs going around the room, except you're Flash and you're faster and you have cooler animations. Imagine that, and that could have been what got the game greenlit. Just imagine that for a second. I think that they're working on a Flash game, but what do you guys think? Am I completely crazy? Most definitely, that is very likely. Let me know down in the comments down below, down under, in Aussie. I would love to know you guys' opinion on me. Am I crazy? Am I speculating too much? Yeah, I tend to do that a lot of times. But let me know down in the comments below. What do you guys think? My opinion, obviously, if they really are working on 2 projects, which I actually think is more than likely, since I already said why. And Project Mercury really is a title, and the Arkham channel really did get it right with the source, then I think more likely than not it is the Flash game and not the title for the Batman game. But what do you guys think? Does anyone agree with me? Do you guys hate me? Should I not do videos like this? Luke Wayne, you're terrible. Tell me down in the comments below. I love interacting with you guys. Like if you enjoyed. Please, for the love of God, subscribe if you want to see daily updates on this game. I'm happy to inform you guys. Just like, and leave constructive criticism in the comments, because I would love to improve. Stay awesome, y'all, and peace.